Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today I just want to do a quick follow-up on the Synology BC500 bullet cam. It's been in service temporarily out on my front porch for about 5 or 6 weeks now since I did the initial video. Again, I want to thank Synology for sending this to me for my review. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's get started. I'm signed into the Synology surveillance station. Let's go ahead and click on IP camera and we'll come down to front porch because that is the BC500 bullet cam. So we'll go into this camera here, and under general, we have a couple of areas of information. You have general information, network info, connection info, IP filter information, and advanced. Now, I pretty much left all this stuff set to the defaults. I'm not going to go over how to adjust the image quality and things like that because you could do that if you have this camera. It's pretty much like any other camera. The integration is pretty well. But what I wanted to just focus this follow-up video on was the motion detection and the people and vehicle detection. And that's down here in the lower left. So we'll start with the event detection. I'll show you the areas that I have defined. I'll give you my feelings on how it's been working. It's been up, like I said, for about 4 or 5 weeks. I'll do the same for people and vehicle detection. I have not enabled intrusion detection. I probably should have, so maybe I might do another video on that. We'll see how long I can keep this loaner camera. But for now, let's get started with event detection, which is your regular motion detection. And I don't know if you can see here in the image, the little gray outline of where I have the detection area defined. We'll be able to see that better once we click on edit detection area. But for the basic settings, obviously we have motion enabled, and then I have the sensitivity level set to 50% and the threshold set to 10%. And that's been working pretty well for me. I have had a few instances where I had some kind of false alarms, and I would get a notification to the phone where it says, you know, detection has been made, but when I go to click on it, it just comes up with a display that said on the phone, no video to display. And it was like a 1 second long thing. So I've changed this from being disabled to 2 seconds, and it seems to have resolved that issue. So I'm happy about that. I left audio enabled just for testing purposes, and I've had no issues with the audio one way or another. And I have tampering detection enabled. And again, it says here, tampering detection triggers alerts when the camera is viewed, when the camera view is blocked or forcibly moved to other angles. And the sensitivity level is set to 25. And again, haven't had any issues one way or another with the tampering. So we'll go ahead now and we will take a look at the detection area that I have defined. And you can see here, I have just a very small area defined. And today's a good example of why I have this area defined. You can see it's slightly windy, and you can see all the trees move in here, and those bushes in the gardens and the grasses and these little bushes here in the front garden. So to avoid getting a million alerts, I just have my little area defined right here, and it's working well. Now, if you wanted to change this area, you simply click on the plus sign or the minus sign to add or remove boxes. So if I click on the minus sign, I can click on a box and remove it, or click on and drag and remove the whole row at one time. Same thing, if I want to put that back, I can just click one box at a time, or click and drag and put the whole thing back all at one time. Fairly easy to define. It's been working really well. Again, since I made that one change to this setting right here, I've pretty much eliminated those false 1 second alerts. So I'm pretty happy about that. Next, I want to take us into people and vehicle detection, just show you the settings and show you the detection area for that because it's a separate detection area. And then we'll maybe walk through intrusion detection. Again, I don't have that set up, but I wouldn't mind seeing what that's all about. And then we'll jump over to the recordings and we'll take a look at some of the captured footage. So let's go ahead and jump into people and vehicle detection, and we'll look at some of the parameters here. So under target detection target for people, I have detect all people, and I have the same for vehicles, detect all vehicles. Now you do have the option of selecting detect with the rules defined below. So we could detect crowd detection here when the occupancy reaches 5 or more. It says here, please enter a value of between 1 and 15. You can get a notification and a detection. And then when loitering is detected, if you enable this, when the occupancy time of any person exceeds, and you could set your time here, and this is in seconds, and you can see the values say, please enter a value between 1 and 600. So, and then you could also tell it to ignore moving people. Let's click on the information and see what it says. Exclude stationary people or objects resembling human shape in the background mannequins to enhance the detection accuracy. All right, so we're just going to put this back to the way it was. And the same thing you can apply with vehicles as well. So again, it's set to detect all vehicles, and you can tell it to detect vehicles with the following rule: when occupancy time of any vehicle exceeds, and then again, you can set that amount of time in seconds. And again, the values are between 1 and 600 seconds. So anyway, let's just put that back to what it was, and we'll just say apply, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the parameters. So here you can see the detection zone for people in vehicle detection, and you can tell it's quite different from what I have set up for the motion detection, which was right in this little front area here. Obviously, I want a larger area for people in vehicle detection, so I have a little bit of a heads up when someone's approaching my front entranceway. Now, I don't have this area here highlighted because, I'm assuming that obviously most people will walk up the path on the pavement, not on the grass. And again, the cars will definitely be coming up the pavement of the driveway, not on the grass. Obviously, if we have a car on the grass area here or in this area here, then we have another problem to deal with. So this is the detection area. And take note of where I have it defined all the way down here. It's almost taking up the whole driveway. Not quite. I mean, it's far enough so that when a car turns in, I should get an immediate detection, but it's not far enough to the point where it'll be picking up cars going by in the street. So this definition has worked pretty well for me. And there are two different types of zones. You have inclusive and exclusive. So basically, inclusive is when a vehicle enters this area, and then obviously exclusive is the opposite. So we're going to go ahead and leave it set to inclusive. I only have one zone, and where the zone display shows all, and let's just click on the little information tab. Determine how you wish to display the detection zone on the screen. So it's showing all the zones, and again, there's only one zone. And again, it's set to ignore small objects. You only have two options: enable or disable. So we'll leave it set to enable. I'll just go ahead and apply that, and we will cancel out of that. Let's go over into now intrusion detection. But before I click on intrusion, I just want you to know where I have the beginning of this zone starting, because when we look at the actual footage from people in vehicle detection, you'll notice it's pretty darn accurate. So anyway, that said, let's go into intrusion. Again, it's not enabled, so we'll go ahead and enable it. It says here, though, intrusion detection sets up virtual fences and triggers events when objects cross over. As shown in the figure, you will be alarmed when a restricted area is accessed. So, all right, let's go ahead and enable that. It looks like it's going to walk us through a little wizard here. So for detection target, we could specify the objects. So people and vehicles are both selected. You can select one or the other. We'll leave them both selected for now. And then let's go ahead and click on next. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Detection target, detection direction, two-way. So we have two-way or one-way detection. And then again, zone, show all, and then ignore small objects is enabled. So it looks by default like this is the fence, virtual fence that it defined. So let's pop that back a little bit like that. And so with a two-way direction, you either crossing leaving or crossing entering, I guess, is going to trigger an event, as opposed to one way, And you can see here now, I'm assuming that the arrows are pointing this way, so it means leaving. Yeah, I'm assuming if you want it to be upon entering, I guess you would just flip this around like that, or maybe I have it the other way around. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this feature set, so if you guys know, please let me know down in the comments below. It would be much appreciated. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. I'll leave it enabled for now. Why not? Let's see what happens. And assuming that this is entering, I'll actually test that out later on and maybe just do a follow-up short video on the results. Let's go into the recording module and let's take a look at, so here are all the recordings and you can see the dates and you can filter by dates. But what I want to focus on is the motion and the people and vehicles. So let's start with the motion. These are all the motion detections. So this picks up little bugs depending on the zones and everything. This is just everything. It depends on how you have your camera zones defined. In my rear cameras, I do sometimes get a moth flying by at night that does trigger. Even though I've tried to set the sensitivity and the zones, sometimes you just got to keep playing with it until you get it correctly. But in any event, these are all the motion events. And I like the way they organize them. It's very easy to pick them up. But let's focus more on the people and vehicle real quick. So you can see here cars, motorcycles, people, tractors. As you can see there, my landscapers on their tractors, FedEx delivery, things like that. So actually it's showing both people and vehicle detection. So let's kind of filter that out real quick, just to people. And you can see now, let's take a look at my FedEx driver real quick. And let's see, remember where that area was defined towards the bottom of the driveway. Let's take a look and see how accurate it actually was. So there's the area. You see here he comes. And as soon as he crosses, there we go, you can see it's picking him up. So that's pretty accurate, I think. Let's look at another one with the actual vehicle detection. Let's see how it detects vehicles. And this delivery driver looks like she's having a really hot day, but it's been super hot here in the southeastern part of North Carolina. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at, that's people. Let's take a look at vehicles. And let's see where it picks up my truck coming up the driveway. So I'm turning in. And there we go, right there. So again, pretty accurate, I think. I'm pretty happy with the results. The vehicle and people detection has been super accurate. Like I said, again, the motion, I still have to play with the motion to tweak it every once in a while, but I did eliminate those short 1 second mishaps. So in any event, pretty happy after having this up temporarily for about 4 or 5 weeks. Would I buy this camera? Because this is going back to Synology. Would I actually spend the $220 to buy this camera? Considering, I guess, that it does come with a license and I don't need to buy any additional license for Synology Surveillance Station. That's one pro for why I would buy it. The fact that everything is integrated and it's easy setup and you do everything right from within Surveillance Station and you don't have to go out like with a third-party camera, like my other 2 cameras, the Amcrest cameras. I have to do certain configurations from within the actual camera's user interface, and then I set some parameters on Synology Surveillance Station. So from that aspect of integration, yes, that's another pro. That's another win. I wish the price was slightly more reasonable, but I don't think it's a bad price. Am I going to buy it? Probably. I'm on the fence right now, but it's teeter-tottering. I'm leaning more towards yay than nay. Let me know what you guys think. down in the comments below. Is this a camera for $220 that you would be comfortable spending the money on? Again, put that information down below. Once again, I want to thank you all for watching this video. It was just hopefully a quick follow-up. It wasn't a real deep dive. I know that. I realize that. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts on what I thought of, the performance in the last 5 weeks. So any event, I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Check out some of the other videos that I list here up above. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. And I want to thank you guys, as I do in every video, for using my Amazon affiliate links. I know they don't change your price, but they do help out the channel. Once again, my name is Tony with Quick Tech Solutions. As always, please stay safe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.